Hi again. Tonight we're going to look at some of the tools which are used within Photoshop. So if you look at the specs given either by BTEC or OCR, you'll see that they specify quite a few examples as to the types of tool that you could use when you were modifying images using Photoshop. And we had a look at those in the previous video, or some of them in the previous video, and we're going to look at a few more now. So the very first one we're going to have a look at is going to be color balance. Now you can see I've got a couple of images open on within Photoshop. There's a golf hole, which is incidentally at Woburn, if any of you have played there. And then you've got the red kite. Now I don't want the red kite just yet, so I'm going to hide this. So you may have seen previously that within the layers you have the option to hide or unhide layers. Now even though you hide them to see right now, this actually doesn't make them disappear as a whole. So even if you have hidden them, they haven't gone away necessarily. They're just, you can't see them at this point. And I'm just showing you this because ultimately this will give a better demonstration as to the types of things we're looking at here. And so the first thing we're looking at is color balance. In fact, a lot of the next few items will be done within the same box, which will make life easier for everyone really. Don't forget to take print screens as you are doing this. So to change the color balance, I'm going to go to Image, and then I'm going to go to Adjustments, and then I'm going to select color balance from this list here. And you can see we've got various different options here, and basically what we're doing is we are highlighting the image using certain colors. So we're taking away from cyan in this example and promoting more red within the picture, and this can produce some quite interesting results if you play about with this. It can be quite interesting, and again, you may just want to play about with it in order to try and achieve a certain effect. So right now it looks like something out of quite an old style picture right now. You could look at this and think it was taken in about the early 20th century, which was just totally accidental. But so you can achieve some quite interesting results just by having a play about with this effect. And let's remember to screenshot. Also, this is a preview, so I've had a play about with it right now. I don't want to keep it like that. I can click cancel and it will go back to the way it originally was. The next thing you want to potentially look at are filters. I did mention filters in the previous video, and filters are very useful things. So basically I have this layer selected and I want to put a filter over the layer, and it will filter everything within this layer, but it won't filter anything on any other layers. So it could be quite useful. It could have some quite interesting effects. I'm just going to select any one of these. I'm just going to pixelate one because it should make it look quite interesting. Then we can see straight away it's made it look a lot more pastely, I suppose you could say. I don't even know if that's a word, but let's see. I'm just going to go back and then I'm going to choose another one. Usually it does give you these pop-up boxes. I don't know why it didn't on the last one, but it does usually give you these pop-up boxes so you can actually see the kind of impact of what might happen on the image once you do click OK. So let's see, it's quite a drastic change on the image right there. It kind of looks like you're looking at it through glass when it's been raining on it. But as always, if you don't like the effect, Control Z is your friend, and you can just go back one. The next thing we want to look at is selection. So I'm going to turn on the kite here, and so one of the great thing about layers is I can do changes to the individual layers and it won't affect the layer behind it. Now the selection tool is similar to the magic wand that we used previously, but this is a lot more it will kind of conform to whatever you draw. So I'm just going to there's a number of ones that you can choose here. So the magnetic lasso tool, it will attempt to latch onto anything in the image. So with this kite, it should work reasonably well. However, I'm not going to use it per se. You've also got other options up here, such as rectangle, elliptical, and row column marquee tools. So these will draw shapes and allow you to select items within the shapes that you draw. And so you may or may not need those at some point. I'm just going to use the lasso tool right now. It's quite useful. It's already selected. And just to kind of give you an example, I'm just going to draw around the kite. Quite rough. I'm sure you want to do this in much better quality than what I'm doing. And then you can see it links up, and you can see by the dash going around the kite that is the area selected, and then I can move it, which is cool. So you would use this, the Magic Wand tool is useful if you have a very single color style background like you have on this kite. So I could use the Magic Wand tool here. However, it's obviously not the same on all images. So if you look at the picture from the golf hole, you can see that the sky is actually quite a few different colors in terms of shades of white and blue, and the Magic Wand tool would not work so well here. Also, you have various different areas within the trees which are blue, so they could be quite interesting to actually kind of get hold of. Now, if you want to deselect anything, you just literally go select, deselect, and that should get rid of any selections on here. Okay, so you're going to need to give evidence that you can select something and potentially do something with that selection. Just move it maybe and do a rotation, maybe apply some effects to it. You also are potentially looking at using hue and saturation. Now, hue and saturation are quite interesting things. So the official definitions of these are: hue is the degree to which a stimulus can be described as similar or different to things described as red, green, blue or yellow. So it will then go into much more detail if you go and research this, but to be brutally honest, that is degree plus level stuff. I think you just kind of need to know that these things exist, really. Saturation is the colourfulness of an area. So for example, if you see this green is a very bright green, however, if you took away saturation from it, you would find it going white almost. So it's the amount of colour kind of within an area. So again, we can change both of these within image and then hue saturation up here, and again you can get some quite interesting effects just by playing about with this. So straight away I can make it look a bit wild. It looks like a scene from Far Cry here. Like I said, if you take away the saturation, all the colour goes from it. And there it just looks a bit crazy. There is obviously the lightness option there. That is pretty much what it says on the tin. You can make it really light and it turns into horrendous, or you can take away the light and it's going to be black. So you probably want somewhere in between, and you just need to display that you're able to use this stuff. Really, I'm going to get cancelled because that's crazy. Excuse me. One of the final things that you will need to be able to do is to use the mask tool. This is a bit more complex. So basically, I've shown you how to kind of cut away the area, but actually the problem with cutting away the pixels is that once they're gone, and you can't then use them later on. So once you get rid of the sky here, these colours are gone. You can't get the blue back. It's going to be gone forever. So what what you could potentially do is apply a mask. So this is literally just going to hide parts of the image, and you're going to be able to see the image below it potentially. So right down here at the bottom there is an option. It looks a bit like a camera, to apply a mask. Okay, maybe in a different place in your version of Photoshop, but it will be there somewhere. And as you can see now, the actual picture has changed, a little bit of layer has changed a little bit. So the white means that you can see everything in through the mask. Okay, I don't know why that's really small. They should be big. Anyway, probably because I'm quite lucky and I have quite a large monitor. But yeah, if you have a white mask here, it means you can see everything through the mask. If the mask is black, it means that that part of the layer is blocked. You can't see through it, or it is hidden from view. So when you have your color here, if you're trying to hide stuff from the mask, you're going to want these to be black, so that you will hide it. Now I'm going to select the paint brush tool, and then I'm going to just make this a little bit bigger. Now, I said I'm going to do this again quite rough, but if you were doing it, you would probably want to do it much more finer, I suppose you could say, to make it look much nicer. You got to make sure you have the right layer selected, otherwise this isn't going to work properly. But all I'm going to do is use the paintbrush, and the pixels will be hidden from view. But the pixels don't go, they're just hidden by the mask. So we can still use the pixels later on. Actually has quite a nice little kind of outer glow effect there, but I'm sure you can get rid of all of them if you want. And you can see on the mask that the areas that are hidden are now turned black, which is quite useful, obviously. Now, when you are creating an image, you should be displaying, you don't need to do every single effect that is listed, but you do need to show a suitable range of effects. Certainly at level 3 I would expect 8 tools to be used, which could include the text, it could include the blending options that were in the previous video, it could include the filters, the gradients, and at level 2 you're probably looking at 5 or 6 depending on what you are asked to do by your tutor, but you're certainly looking for a nice wide range of them. And remember to evidence the tools that you're using as you're going through. Generally your tutor will ask for use of screen grabs as evidence of this, because otherwise there is no evidence that you simply haven't gone off the internet and found a picture on there and are claiming it as yours. So remember, this is providing evidence that you have done the things that you said that you're doing, which is obviously very important. Hopefully that has helped you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.